You're listening to Needless to Say, another disgraceful member of the Damaged Goods Podcast Network. Check out us and other great shows at damagedgoodsinc.com.
All right, listeners of this show are well aware of what happens when I ride the bus. But this time, my ride home was completely uneventful. However, waiting in line to board the bus, well, that was something else entirely. While standing in the heart of the worm-ridden, filth-laden core of the Big Apple, I was minding my business, wondering why I didn't grab a tuna sandwich from a vending machine to make the woman in front of me feel more at home. Then I heard it. "Move, bitch!" I'm like, ooh, live entertainment. Do it again. "Run, bitch! Run the fuck ahead!" I'm like, yay, an interactive show. "You think you know me! Fuck off, and run!" Then I saw the recipients of these screams, 2 young children, both under the age of 8, and they weren't fazed in the slightest, with the older one even yelling back at her mother a few times. Fuck! God, if you're out there, please let me know that this woman is getting on my bus. I need this to happen. Now, at this point, most adults in my line were ready to lose their place in line and beat the living shit out of this woman because that was the right thing to do. You know, New York, the holidays, all that. But then, just as I was about to join this big mob and maybe sneak up a few spots in line, I noticed a second adult was watching the scene a little closer, walking behind this woman and her kids from a safe distance. And then he told this angry mob of surrogate parents to stand back, and he repeatedly pointed at her neck. So we all, in unison, looked back at her neck and saw a lanyard with a large black card that said, "Tourette's syndrome, please accept my apologies." And at that moment, we also stopped hearing her words and paid a little closer attention to the confusing scene. We then saw that the mother wasn't being so aggressive with her body language, and she was actually holding and embracing the children while swearing. And the children actually seemed well aware of their mom's situation and seemed to be extremely well-adjusted kids who were just trying to get through a crowded bus station with minimal problems. So a sense of calm resumed in line, and after seeing the sign, people went about minding their business. Even though we occasionally heard, "Bitch! Run to the line! Run, bitch!" And this was followed by a torrent of racist, homophobic slurs so rough, even we won't say them here. I rolled the dice and stepped out of line to speak to that other adult. I just needed to know how this was possible. I said, "Sir, I kind of have to give you a handshake. This is clearly a tough situation to handle, especially in a crowded bus station filled with so many people who would take this the wrong way. So I need to ask you a question." And just at that moment I heard, "Fuck you, bitch! Move the fuck up already!" At that point he ignored the outburst and he cut me off immediately as if he knew what was coming next. Let me reassure you, I'm here to calm down potential problems. But as you can see, she's a caring, concerned mother who often struggles to control her symptoms in hectic surroundings like this. But those children are loved, and they're well aware of their mother's problems, and they love her just as much as she loves them. No one is in danger, and no one here should worry. I replied, "That's great and all. I just really want to know how to get one of those signs. Maestro, run like a bitch and hit my music."
Hello, welcome back to Needless to Say. I'm Craig. I'm here with Fuck, Cock, and Pussy Linger.
What a pleasant ride it was. God, I miss home.
Definitely need the card, man.
I think I don't need a costume this year. I'm just going to walk around as Tourette's guy.
Yeah.
So they actually got on your bus?
No, it wasn't our bus. They were headed to Worcester. So they were like at
no
the gate
shit.
next to us. But,
yeah.
Oh, man, did I want this one on our bus. Yeah. Would have been the best ride ever.
No, they were going to fucking Worcester. Shithole.
Every time they hit traffic,
Fucking drive. Shithole. Dump.
Have you been there?
she would have done that on my bus to Providence, too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, shit. No, but how was your week?
It was good. It was great. Obviously not as good as Brad's. But that's fucked up.
It was really just today.
No, I've been really shitty, man. I've been sick all week, whatever. And as usual, my comrades fucking bust my balls about it.
No,
It's
we
all
But
right.
if you go
No,
back
I'm
to
surprised,
episode
actually.
29, that's when Mike was healthy.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, it's been whatever, bronchial infection and whatnot. It's all
Or as
good.
Brad called it, bronchial AIDS.
Bronchial AIDS, yeah. That was fucking great. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking Halloween coming up. We're supposed to have the party this weekend. I was all psyched to have it, but
Had to
not
push it
doing
off.
Got to do it week after Comic-Con.
That's it.
Sucks. It'll be in the middle of November, but whatever.
We've done it the week after.
Costumes will be
before.
on
It doesn't
sale.
matter.
That's nothing. No big.
We've done it the week after before. It's
Yeah,
not a
it's all
big deal.
good.
It's a week later, not in the
Yeah.
middle of November.
Yeah.
It's 1 week later we're doing it.
I still think it's going to be great because anybody who bought a costume is going to get to use it again.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's going to be just as fucking cold on your deck. So it
Oh
doesn't really
yeah, it
matter.
is, man. Well, that's another thing too. The weather tomorrow is going to be freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's supposed to be windy and raining all fucking days.
Hopefully that rotten tree in my front
gonna
yard
be a
doesn't fall on my
nor'easter.
neighbor. but
That voice you heard wasn't like a disembodied head. That was Manny. Manny
Yep.
sees
Yes.
Sometimes- Yep.
Yep. I'm sometimes here today.
and we know why we call him sometimes. Why is it, boys? Because sometimes it's 250, sometimes it's 251. I'm talking LBs here, right?
Last time he was 251, kid, it was 12.
Fuck you. I'm actually 255.
Fucking losing weight.
I was gonna call it
Looking
250,
good.
255, but that's good. But anyway, that was that. And Brad, you had a great week. We understand that.
Oh, New York City was the bomb.
Literally. Wow.
That's fucked up.
Great fucking time. Let me tell you, it's getting harder and harder to leave every time I go. Now, it's funny because I've just talked to you all about buying a house
Yeah.
here. But every time I get on that bus or that train or however I get home, it's getting harder and harder to leave. I miss home, and I miss it terribly. And I realize this usually just as we're crossing over into Providence and you see what little skyline they have.
Yeah.
And you're like, this isn't a real city. Okay. And then you walk around and you look at most of like the neighborhoods leading up to Providence, and like Detroit sends a letter like saying, oh, we sympathize.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's an awful, ugly non-city. I mean, do you want to know how bad the city is? First of all, my shit luck, WWE Raw came to Providence the night after I left.
Yep.
And do you know what happened in Providence? Their champion got leukemia. That's what happened.
Right?
Fuck Providence. Non-city, man. I don't know, man. I enjoy being there, and I realize it's
we're
a
glad
break,
you're
but
back, buddy.
I'm glad to be back. I miss my family. I miss my dog. Some more than others. But yeah, it's good to be home. I'm getting ready for Comic-Con. I think that's the one draw is that 1 week from tonight we
Yes.
won't be sitting here.
No.
We'll be talking, we'll be recording, and we'll be doing a lot of stupid shit.
Yep.
Spending money we shouldn't be spending, drinking things we shouldn't be drinking.
Yeah.
But we're going to be doing it in front of a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
And Craig, with that, I throw it to you.
It's awesome. This time of year is my favorite because two things happen back to back every year. And that is Halloween and then Comic-Con.
Hell yeah.
It's like it's my favorite time. Other than Christmas. I love Christmas because I get a bunch of shit.
Yeah, if Christmas did not involve gifts, you would give two fucks.
I would
no
give
lie.
two fucking shits.
You care more about getting freaking
Yeah.
baskets
He is
on
right,
your
though,
stuff.
because I was getting into his truck last week, and I swear to God, I almost slipped and broke my freaking neck on a freaking Kit Kat fucking wrapper. His freaking truck is just full of candy wrappers everywhere you
It's
look.
loaded.
Guaranteed.
My wife bought
His wife has 3 hiding spots for
my
candy.
wife bought Halloween candy like 2 weeks ago, and then she just had to buy Halloween candy again
Because you
this
ate it
week
all.
because I ate it all, and this is almost gone. But it's cool working up to Halloween, and then Comic-Con and stuff. But the best was this week, all week, I worked at a funeral home.
Oh shit! There you
So
go.
it just made it even better. It was like
That's cool.
bringing me right into the thing, watching them wheel a bag in.
Real props.
I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Can I see? Can I check that out?
Yeah. You know, I was like, this is fucking really cool.
Wait, it's cool seeing dead bodies, or just because it's getting you in the Halloween
No,
spirit?
it was getting me in the Halloween. It was in a bag.
That's
I think it was
somebody's
in a
mother.
bag.
It was in a bag. It was in a bag.
There's a shaggy corpse in there that somebody loved.
It's all purple and fucking grayish.
Distended.
With big old blood clots on the bottom.
That
Hell
thing,
yeah,
that
it's
thing's
cool.
still farting.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, nothing gets me in the holiday mood.
No, but the big thing is Comic-Con.
Corpses.
Man, what are you joking about? You'd go there looking for a date. Give me over. And I don't mean the mourners.
Man, you like to stop in for a cold one.
Nice and stiff. Nice and stiff.
But nah, but Comic-Con is the big thing. I just been so amped up about it. I'm fired up.
Now, we've been talking about it at the end of every episode, and let's be real, nobody makes it to the end of our
No.
episodes. I'm pretty sure my wife tapped out in about 20 minutes.
I
before the
did.
end.
I did today. I actually did. Got to the
Okay.
end.
Well, that's good. Thanks for being on top of that. It's been up for 3 days.
Mike's listened to a total of 4 episodes now.
Did you listen to the one where you were healthy?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
No, but what I was saying is we've kind of done this whole real quick hit, like, oh, by the way, we're going to be at Comic-Con. Let's kind of get into it. Let's talk about what it is we're going to be doing there for real, like where we're going to be at, and what types of things we expect to see, and what types of things, are we hoping to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's tons of shit. I mean, you're going to see all the people that have decked out in their costumes. You're going to see shitty costumes. Then you're going to see one, costumes that are going to blow you away. You're going to be like, holy
Yeah,
crap.
like wow, you have no life.
I don't know what's sadder. Like, you see some people that put so much work into them, and there's like 6.5 feet of costumes surrounding them.
Yeah.
And you're like, God, that guy really has nothing to do. And you feel bad for him. But then there's that other guy who comes in like wearing a box, and you can see Maytag right on the side. And it's usually a fat kid. Okay, and it's like, you can tell it was done with like that Crayola tempera paint. And his dad's just like, fucking get out of my garage. He's like, just go to your goddamn nerd show. And, and he had to put like a little post-it on it. It's like, hi, I'm SpongeBob. Or something like that,
Yeah.
Oh, there goes that costume. We're gonna freaking throw
But
that
I
one in the
like
trash.
seeing, like, it was 2 years ago. One of my favorite costumes was about 2 years ago. This is a girl. She was probably about 11 or 12 years old. She made
Ooh, tell me more. Halloween starts early this year, I see.
She made it.
It's just jokes.
It's
man,
so
just
funny.
jokes.
After many, many months of not doing that, the last couple of weeks, the children thing has
Halloween.
resurfaced. It's got to be
Halloween's coming up.
Halloween.
It's Halloween.
I always wonder why you had a bowl of candy out in mid-July. Now I know. I just thought you were lazy. But no.
No, but it was this girl, and she was so excited about her costume, and it was a group costume. She did a great job, and her father. She was with her father and her brother, and so I asked her. I said, "Did you make this by yourself?" And the father chimed right in, and he's like, "Yeah, she did." He's like, "She made the whole thing by herself."
Cool.
And she worked on it for months and months. She was like working on it since the middle of the summer. You know what I mean? But it was great. It looked so good. It was perfect. So I like seeing that. That's cool. To see that diehard fan from a little kid. So, I enjoy that stuff.
Now, I know you enjoy it because you like the art of making it, and you're into that.
Yeah.
Have you ever considered doing it?
Well, I've done it to an extent.
He helped make my son's Spawn costume.
I made his son's,
and that was amazing.
And it was to a point that the guy who played Spawn in the movie was at Comic-Con, and we went.
Yeah. Got his
And
autograph.
the guy was like floored by it.
He goes, "This is
the
Little
kid
Spawn."
took a picture with him.
Yeah.
The guy took a picture with Manny's kid on his phone.
Yeah. He
Nice.
did. He did. And
He wanted a picture with him.
And then after there was also, I think my son was like 11,
Yeah,
10 years
yeah.
old, 10 or 11 at the time. And after he takes a picture, I said, "Chris, say thank you." And then he says to my son, "Oh, he's freaking Little Spawn. He don't have to say thank you to nobody."
Yeah, he's Little Spawn. And every time we walk by, he's like, "Little Spawn!" He's yelling out and stuff. It was really cool.
See, I thought my thing with Ian Ziering was cool. This is way cooler. because it's not Ian Ziering.
Yeah. No, it was cool.
He just said he thought his thing with Ian Singh was
It
cool.
was cool.
It was
It
cool.
was fun,
I know,
man.
we're an actor from Sharknado. Every time I walk by, would yell, "Brad, how's your day go?"
Yeah, that's true. That is
I'm
cool.
like, how do you know me?
That's
Stop
fucking cool.
talking to me.
Yep.
I mean, you remember how
he gonna
awkward
be-
that was.
it was-
We had to stop and leave.
Yeah.
Like, we were like, okay, we got to go.
Yep.
You know, and he just wanted to
Is he gonna be?
He was
He's not
awesome.
going to be there this year, though.
No, he is.
No.
No, he
He's
was just an
filming.
awesome guy, though. I mean,
Yeah, he's a
wicked
cool, down-to-earth
friendly. and
dude.
He was just psyched.
If you look
to
at my
talk
track
to you.
record, it's the guy from 90210 and Joey Fatone.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
Everybody, it's Joey Vitone, and you're listening to Needless to Say.
Yeah, Fatone's all right.
he's
right.
a nice guy, man. He
You
was
just
a
got
lot
to think
fun.
of him in the Greek wedding sense, not
Yeah.
so much in the boy band.
Yeah, and he's done other things too that are funny as a bastard, you know. And he owns a fucking hot dog place called Fat Ones.
Yep. For
and,
Tone.
and it's Fatone.
Fat One.
It's just Fat One.
That's great.
But I mean, I do like that aspect of making those costumes and stuff. The thing is, it's not cheap to make them.
No, you got to get the right.
And
equip-
you've met
get
my
great
wife.
Stuff.
You know, if I said I'm gonna be right back, I'm running to the store to buy fucking $200 worth of foam. You know, she's not gonna be too happy about
You
that.
could tell you were in the store to buy a bag of fucking cotton, and you're like, "What?
What?
How much? 75 cents? Oh, you ain't getting shit."
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Can't you just like pull it out of a pillow?
Not that pillow, though. No.
Yeah. Nah, but I love that shit. And then, of course, the comic book aspect of it and the artists that are there. I love that shit, and I'm excited about it.
So that's from the guy who goes to every one of them.
I've been to every single one.
But this year we got a guy going that's never been to one.
Yes.
Never
So
been.
I really want to hear from you,
Psyched.
Mike.
Fucking psyched, man. I can't, like Craig said, I really want to see costumes. Definitely.
You're going to see a lot.
Because
I
I
see a
love
lot
putting
of
shit.
awesome
Yeah, I
costumes.
love building shit too. I mean, I've always been like that, you know? Artsy, fucking fat, fartsy fucking type. But yeah, I can't wait for that. Can't wait just to go, you know?
Yeah, no, it's going to be awesome.
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, you hear everything, but I don't know
You went to
exactly
one
what
with
to
me,
expect.
At
Yeah, that
Foxwood.
was-
We went to Foxwood. Was it
Which-
Foxwoods or
yeah.
Megan Son we went to?
I think it was Fox.
It was it's a small con. It's called Terrificon.
Terrificon, yeah.
It was fun, but it's really small.
Yeah,
it's
it was
one
kinda
ballroom. You know what I mean?
Some cool costumes.
But there was
too.
some cool
That
was
big
that
ass
guy,
robot.
yeah.
That was cool,
Guy
man.
had
It
a
was huge. It was like
gigantic-
10 feet high.
Guy was on stilts and everything. It was massive.
I don't understand that. How do you plan? I know you want to be seen, but you also have to get around. Okay, and
Well, he took it
these
off.
things get so fucking crowded.
Yeah.
Like I watched one guy nearly go down last year, and
Yeah.
I mean, and don't
That
get
was
me wrong, I
before
was
he got
rooting
in
for
the
it.
show.
in the alley on the side of the show. It's like, but I didn't have $5.
Oh, shit. We love you, Brad. We love you.
Damn.
It's awesome. Sorry.
That guy said he loved me too.
Actually, that was $7 if you want to say that to you.
I'd pay another 10 for a hug. Someone to tell me it's going to be all right.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry, Brad.
Nah, don't be, because you know we're just going to drill you later.
Oh, I know.
But I know what you mean, though. Because that guy in that giant, he was at Comic-Con, too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he went last year in that same costume.
I mean,
and
this
it was
costume, like,
awesome.
it actually made sound, like,
it
every
had
joint
sounds.
made sounds.
when
he was moving.
made the robot when he stepped, and
fucked
even the
up. It was
footsteps
pretty
were
cool.
made, you know, it was really
had
cool.
Did
senses
somebody
all
interview
over
him
it.
and say the obvious thing, like, you know, so
What's
now
wrong
that
with you?
why
He
are you
actually-
unemployed, and when are you going to contribute to society?
Yeah, he was actually interviewed by Channel 10. And the other thing is, he
the
was
asylum.
also interviewed at San Diego Comic-Con. So this guy's moving around.
Yeah.
This guy was at San Diego Comic-Con wearing it, and he was interviewed by, I forgot what, it might have been Sci-Fi Channel. You know, they do those small spots or something like that. Saw him there, and I was like, that's that guy. And he was making his rounds. He's from Boston, I think. And he was probably making his rounds, showing off the costume, probably testing it out around here to go to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You know, there's money to be won.
He had a handler. He actually
there's
had.
people that do this for a living.
He
too.
actually
No,
had a
that's-
costume handler with
Don't.
him.
Well, that's dumb. And the fact that and the fact that there's somebody making money like career wise on this is even dumber.
There's actually
Japanese
just
Comic-Con.
cosplay conventions too, and a lot of the people that are judging these competitions at like San Diego Comic-Con and the some of the big cosplay cons are actual Hollywood people that make costumes.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yep.
So that's
Well,
a lot of people have gotten jobs from that.
show Face Off.
Yeah.
Well, I assure you, nobody will be judging these costumes and the people in them harder than me. I like Comic-Con for the toys. I like it for some of the nostalgia. I like seeing some of these B-level actors pretend they're not B-level actors. I enjoy that aspect of
Yeah.
it. The cosplay thing, I will never understand. It just looks uncomfortable and awkward, especially the one guy who stands there and waits for people to come over to him, say, pose with me.
Really?
I just want to punch him in the nads.
See, these
man.
are things I want to see for the first time.
No-
Will I punch him in the nuts?
Oh, you're gonna the best. I love when I'm like because it's gonna be different this time. But I'd be at a booth going through a box of comic books, looking, trying to find something, and then look to the side of me, and there's a fucking guy who looks like Lou Albano wearing a fucking Wonder Woman fucking costume. And I'm like, yes, I love this fucking place.
Well, those are my favorite ones. I
I
like.
was on the side of you at that point. I remember that
you
guy.
remember that guy?
Oh my god, that was hilarious. That was the best ever.
I do like the low rent costumes.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even try. They left the house. They're like, fuck, I've got to go down to like some art store real quick and slap together some, like the top of a mop.
It was a legitimate
Stop
Wonder
it,
Woman
freaking
costume, but the guy
Walmart.
looked like Lou Albano. He was fat, and obviously he was doing it for the laugh, you know. But it was but he was dead serious, all serious, going through the comic books. I'm like, what the fuck?
You'd be laughing when you're in the back of his van, tied up with the golden lasso of truth.
It puts a lotion on the skin.
Obviously, he was doing it, just for the.
Later,
funny
we're going in
aspect.
the invisible plane.
It puts a Spider-Man 52 in the basket. But this is what's gonna happen, Brad.
I got no delusions of grandeur. I know exactly what's going to happen here. But I don't know, man. I sometimes I forget. It takes me 51 weeks to forget about the nerd aspect of it.
Yeah.
I don't have a tolerance for the excessive nerdiness. We had that one guy who talked to us in character next to a
that's a
Darth
little-
Vader guy.
That's a little too much for me. When it's one thing to wear a costume and show and take some pictures with people and laugh and have fun, and you're there for the nostalgia and the pop culture of it. And hey, check out this costume I made and take some pictures. But if you start like serious and adamantly, like, I am
acting
this
the-
person.
Well, all people are not the same psycho level as they're not all the
As
same.
all the attendees at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Right, you know what I'm saying.
You're going to be 19 people going around. No, I'm Deadpool. And they're going to be
yeah.
making dirty jokes, and they're going to be like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm Deadpool. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm Deadpool.
Yeah.
There you go.
Fuck out of here.
Is that okay to
Yeah.
do in this PC culture? Can you be Deadpool these days?
Oh yeah, you're gonna see about 13,000 of them
I know.
next week.
I tell you, I wasn't going to come this year if we didn't have a table.
Yeah.
I made it very clear. I wasn't going to come back for this. It just doesn't pay. Because you walk in, you pay money to go into a building to spend more money, and then spend more money on top of
All
that.
about
And then when I would walk in with Brad, and Brad would be like, all right, I'm going to get in line here. I'm like, all right, see ya. And I would just take off on him. I would walk right in the VIP line. See, fucking, I mean,
What a dick.
taking pictures from inside, sending them to him.
Taking pictures of him outside.
Looks cold out there.
No, he's an absolute douche. But he also drove.
Yeah.
He actually called me and told me, dude, I just took a picture of Brad outside in the line and sent it to him. I was like, you are fucked up.
It was raining a little. It was fucking cold.
No, it wasn't raining. It was 20 degrees.
Oh, no, it
was fucking cold.
It was
ice cold.
stupid cold last year.
And it's probably going to be just as cold this year.
Yeah, but the difference is we'll already be
I know,
inside.
we'll be inside.
Toasty
We'll never
warm, and
leave
it
for
only
that.
costs us a few $100. It's honestly the best
Fuck
way to
you guys.
experience the show.
To be honest with you, it costs the same amount as a VIP ticket.
But we're taking pictures from inside the venue and sending them to Manny.
Yes.
Yes, while Manny is
We'll
outside.
all have to do that.
Oh, no, I'm gonna stay in the restaurant.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
I'll
you'll
go
be
in
eating
2
somewhere.
hours after it starts.
Yeah.
I'll have a nice buzz going. by
Yeah,
the
we'll
time
go
I get
meet.
in there.
We're still gonna meet Manny
Yeah, we have a
for
tradition.
beer and pizza.
Enough of this shit already. God almighty. I'm kind of second guessing going with you guys. I really am. So let's talk about another one of my favorite fall pastimes. Fucking Halloween.
You hate it so
Brad
much,
hates
huh?
every fucking holiday.
I know, right?
Every single one.
Every
of them.
one of
No,
them.
I mean,
Brad
Halloween's
wants
great
no
for
holidays.
kids. It's great for kids.
What about Christmas?
I love Christmas.
Do you?
I love Christmas. Huge
That's the
fan
only
of
one.
Christmas. I did that whole thing last year about the
Nah,
holidays.
He
Yes,
does
that
like
was-
Christmas.
I love
that's it.
Christmas. I don't think Halloween is a great holiday because of the way it's done. We talked about it last year, but Halloween really can't be on any other night but Friday or Saturday.
But if you think about it, Halloween. I'm sorry to cut you off, but Halloween is one of the main holidays we have that you can pretty much do anything you want to do and celebrate it any way you want.
Okay, so I work a full day, then I've got to walk my kid around in the cold just to
Well-
beg for food.
Well, yeah,
okay,
if you
door
have
to
kids, it
door.
sucks.
Okay, and then it's a Tuesday night. But that's just it. What are you doing with this if you're not a kid?
It's funny that you said that because Portland, Maine, right now, there's a petition going around, and they're talking about changing it to the first Saturday of, the last Saturday of October.
They do this in Foxborough.
Be a good idea.
I think it's a great idea because I don't want to take my kid out on a Tuesday night and then tell him we got to go home and you got to do homework and then you got to get in bed and you can't have any of that candy. You can't have any fun because it's Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Yeah,
on
that
Saturday
sucks
night,
out loud.
But then on Saturday night, you're gonna be telling him, "Look, we can't do that because Daddy's got to go out and fucking do this." And that. So it don't matter what day it's gonna be.
It's
Nah,
just
no, it
it's a
does.
kid's
No,
holiday.
Saturday
it should be focused
It
on
makes
kids.
sense.
It would be longer. The kids would be able to go out earlier. Parents would be home. Kids would be able to go out earlier, stay out a little later,
This is a good
enjoy the
idea.
night. It's true.
I hated doing this holiday when I was a kid on weeknights. Like it didn't make sense. Even then, I thought it was stupid.
Yeah, it did suck.
I liked getting free candy as much as anybody, and then I got diabetes, and so you know what? Fuck this holiday.
It all comes full
That's
circle.
what it
Full
is.
circle. Now Brad can't eat his kids' candy.
Oh, I see.
I did a
Now
lot of
there's-
that. But you know what I think of diabetes? All right.
No, it's a good idea to bring it around.
Yeah, it
would,
is.
It wouldn't be bad. I mean, but it's not tradition,
Whatever, man.
you know?
Yeah, that
But
does kind of
whatever.
suck if you think about it. His kids are finally prime candy gathering age, and he can't have any of it.
Yeah.
I know, man. Right?
And maybe that fucking Facebook meme would finally come true. You know, Halloween falls on Friday the 13th this year.
I'll take my kids out on Friday the 13th happily.
Yeah,
Have them
right.
Beg for food then. And why does it have to just be candy? Make me a steak. I mean, get something portable. Make a kebab. I don't care. Just give me something other than that. I like the parents in my neighborhood that have booze. They invite you into their house and they say, "We don't know you, but we have booze in the back. Come on back. Let your kids play for a
Yeah.
little while, warm up,
Yep.
and
Those are the days.
warm up."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
I
good
miss
old
those
days, man.
days.
No, it's,
Yep.
that's a
My kids are
cool
all
thing.
big now.
Notice the hate the one fucking, like, you go to the old lady and she drop a fucking nickel in your fucking candy bag and you're like, so now I got a giant bag of candy and 5 cents. Thanks.
Which you're going to use to buy more candy.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Craig as a kid. Get in Craig's car right now, you'll see what I mean.
Well, back in those days, you could buy 5 candy fish for 5 cents.
Yep.
You can't get jack shit for 5 cents
Nothing.
now. Nothing.
The back of Craig's car looks like Bill Cosby had a date with Willy Wonka.
That is the truth. That is the truth.
I like candy, man.
You could-
There's
you
pills
you
and
could
candy all
drown-
smashed up all along the freaking carpets. Candy and pills smashed together.
You
Fucking
get
great.
drowned in candy wrappers in that truck. I swear.
I caught Craig snorting Fun Dip one day. But anyway, candy is kind of a main driver of what's going on in Georgia right now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They want their kids to be safe and be able to go out and get candy. So the Georgia mayor in Georgia, I don't know what the name of the town is, but he plans to round up, just like get a van, because they're comfortable in vans. Plans to get a giant van and round up all the sex offenders in this
No
town.
windows. No windows.
No windows. No, because nobody can look in.
No.
You know, that's the whole point. But you get them into this van and you bring them over to City Hall for the night
Yeah, all the sex offenders, he wants to bring them to City Hall.
and just leave them there for a while, like lock them in.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna lock them
I
up.
mean, I'm sure they'll get like
in
a few
there.
pizzas and like let them hang out and eat. but-
So all the best candy is at City Hall. Noted. I'm in.
That is so fucked up.
Craig's,
man.
they're not answering. I bet you do a trick with them, though. That's for sure.
I mean, it's a great idea. Keep the fucking sex offenders fucking locked up for one night. But I mean, what the fuck? There's got to be some
Well,
kind
this
I
of-
really
yeah,
don't
fucking
think it's a
couple
good idea.
couple of other
It's gonna
states.
be-
Couple of other states, they're just fucking murdering them right now.
Yeah.
There's that going on.
I prefer that.
Yeah.
I prefer.
I mean, there's
that.
got to be some kind of
giving them like a big sleepover party where they can all get together and like exchange ideas.
yes. That's terrible.
They're
man.
not locking them up separately in separate rooms.
Everybody's giving
No,
each
it's
other
like a
their
sleepover.
Fucking email passwords and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Look at these
there
pics.
could be an alternative motive here. I mean, get them all in one room and then
What, blow the
Auschwitz,
building
you know
up?
what I mean, just, you know,
Destroy the building.
yes, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, yeah, that would be
Gas them, whatever.
whatever.
You know,
It's a good idea.
No, it's, I mean,
just make it happen.
I see what he's trying to do. I
yeah,
know,
I guess.
but
Maybe he's one. Maybe he's a fucking sex offender.
because
himself.
I mean, but where do they draw the line though? Is it the sex
Yeah.
offender? Is it the kid that was 21 that was banging the 16-year-old girl? That
I mean, is
fucking-
that
you know? What I mean?
is that even legal to do? You know what I
No,
mean?
it's not.
It's
I don't
not.
know, what the
and,
fuck?
and so, in my opinion, if you even skirted the line, but the law was clear,
Yeah.
you go to City Hall, and then you all get together, and it's like that Simpsons episode where they have the stonecutters, you know, and they're like,
Yeah.
they're all in that big like that cult.
Yeah.
I
They
think
provide,
that's
him
what-
with, they provide him with entertainment. Louis C.K. shows up.
now they're all together.
He's like, hey, guys, check this out.
They're definitely gonna have to fucking hose that place down the next day. That's for sure.
They have like a secret handshake. It's just their fingers like really close together, just jerking off very small.
That is fucked
I
up.
would love to see them trick or treating at City Hall. Though, what's in your box? What's in your box?
Crotchless costumes for all.
Yeah, that would happen too. There'd be a lot of dicks flying around.
Oh,
the
you
yard.
know it.
Yeah, you know.
Guys just want to beat off, and then Louis there.
I mean, that's offensive enough, though, taking these people and locking them away.
Wait, that's offensive?
But- no,
or the fact
no.
that they're sex offenders?
No, they're sex offenders. I'm saying
I just need to know before I bring
They're
my kids to your house.
you've got no, I'm saying you've got a whole room of fucking people that hurt children.
A giant
and I'm
circle
not
jerk.
talking about fucking Our Lady of Mont Carmel.
With rulers and shit. No, we're talking.
You know, the town hall is fucking. All the files are stuck together. Like, you know,
They should have just
pedophiles.
done it on Sunday and called it mass.
you go there, there's just birth certificates laid out on the fucking floor. All the little baby footprints has got little loads on them.
Oh my god,
What is wrong with you?
that is terrible, dude.
Jesus.
I love that
That's
you
terrible.
put thought into this episode,
Yeah,
but I really hate that you put thought into this episode.
some aspects of it anyway.
But speaking of, less offensive.
Speaking of, yeah,
We'll go less
I
offensive.
think
with
anything
this
can
one.
get less offensive than that. You can do anything right now.
No, it's good. Is
like-
I can't lose my job like Megan Kelly.
You're fired.
yeah, no shit, right?
Megan Kelly, she lost her job this morning.
This morning, she
Yeah.
lost her job.
And she's only been expected to lose her job since about 48 hours after she got it.
Yeah, exactly.
She is just a lightning rod.
But she defended, and it's funny because the headline's a little misleading in a sense.
It is. You got to read
She
into the story.
defending blackface. They said that defending a blackface costume. She wasn't defending that particular thing per se.
Right.
She was defending costumes and just saying
In general.
why do people have to get all screwed up and be so politically correct? It's Halloween. You're dressing up as somebody you're not.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, and for all 36 of her years, Megan Kelly has gone as Mammy.
Yeah.
But that's you're right though.
And then
You're
she
right,
ended
though.
the
That was
segment
her
with,
point.
"Hello, my baby. Hello."
Good time, girl. But that's basically what she said at the. I mean,
No,
isn't the whole point
don't
of
get me
Halloween?
wrong. She was
dressing-
stupid.
Yeah,
it's her own
She
fault.
says a lot of stupid
She says
shit.
stupid shit, and she said this
Everybody
one.
says stupid
Yeah,
shit.
but
but
No,
that
she
was.
does it all
I
the
mean,
time.
yeah.
Yes, she does it. Everybody says stupid shit, but now is not the time to say stupid shit. All the
Yeah.
people that are losing their jobs and all
I
the
know,
people
but-
that are getting screwed over a fucking tweet and losing their jobs.
I get it. I totally get it.
So,
but
it's her
the
own
time
fault.
is not. But if you stop and read exactly what she said, read the whole thing, it's.
It wasn't. She wasn't
stupid.
like everybody should
It's
wear
so
blackface
stupid.
costumes
No.
next week. You
No,
know,
she was just.
saying that, but-
She wasn't like talking just about blackface. It was like you said. It was an in general thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, isn't that the whole point of Halloween? So wait a minute. So now, if I want to be Apollo Creed, well, I can't put black makeup on and be fucking. What is that wrong?
That's
now?
like the
That's what I'm
sixth
saying.
reason you shouldn't be a color.
Wow, 6? Only 6?
It's his house.
No, if anything,
I could go to infinity and beyond.
If anything, kid, we're getting you a red shirt with a white collar.
Hey. That was for you, Christy. Hey. But
I was just gonna say there aren't enough flags here to make the
what the
shorts.
fuck? But no, seriously though. I mean, if somebody, you're Italian, right? If you want to walk around with fucking chorizo fucking hanging out your back pockets and shit, and fucking walking around like a Portuguese guy, whatever, with black socks up with fucking flip flops. I'm not gonna get all
You realize
pissed
if
off
you
and
change the
say,
sausage, you just described an Italian. There's nothing offensive.
No,
That's
it's chorizo.
just
Man. It's gotta be
Thursday.
chorizo. It's different. I would, I would
I was
say,
just
hey,
gonna
stop
wear
trying
a-
to be a Portuguese.
I was just gonna wear a long wig and put nails in the palms of my hands, and walk around.
And making fun of Jews.
What, a long-haired cop now? I don't get it.
No, but I
What
get
are
it.
you, a long head cop?
Yeah, exactly. I'm a couple of
A wig
misfires.
with nails in my hands. There's a couple of misfires. Yeah, they fucking nail gunning him back.
No, but I mean, it's insane. But she did it at the now is not the time in this country
I guess.
to do that.
That's
I
whole
guess.
As
shtick.
such a
That's her
public
whole
I think
shtick,
it's a
though,
bunch of
is
big
fucking
shit.
pushing the envelope. That's
Well, I mean,
not even
always
pushing
been.
the
she's
envelope.
proven to be tone deaf. I say that a lot lately, but she really is tone deaf. She doesn't listen to what's going on in the world because she thinks I'm Megyn Kelly and I'm expected to do these things.
I totally agree with everything you guys say, but this instance.
Oh, do I
Not-
think she should? Do I think
not
she
at
should
all.
get fired? She apologized. She came out
No,
and
not
apologized.
even for what? She
And
didn't have
whatever.
to apologize.
She
is
didn't
what
have
I'm
to.
saying.
They were looking for a reason to fire because
Exactly.
the ratings are terrible. And
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's
Exactly.
exactly
Exactly.
it.
And also,
It all
she
comes
was
down to ratings.
planning
whole
we're
point.
coming with a guy to their company holiday party, and she was coming with Uncle Jemima.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Shit like
You know,
that.
it's fucked up.
Whatever.
I mean, I've come
Cut that
to
out.
I've gone to 2 parties dressed as Lando Calrissian, totally with my face painted black.
Awesome too.
The best was when I dressed up as Mr. T.
With the T, fool. That
And
was fucking
I
great.
fucking was completely. I painted my neck,
painted
everything.
food.
I was
He
completely.
shaved his
my
head to a
hands-
mohawk. It was great.
I had the mohawk. I had the whole. I shaved my head just like his. I had a whole shitload of chains around my neck. The best is I was waiting for a television to get delivered that day.
A big screen TV.
Don't tell me black guys can't deliver
No,
TV.
well, yeah,
dang it.
well, one of them was, but
Oh, no, one of them was.
it had nothing to do with me dressing. I was dressing up as I was fucking Mr. T. That was it. It wasn't. I wasn't making fun of black people. I wasn't fucking doing anything.
Let me ask you this: what about Eddie Murphy putting on whiteface?
Yes,
What about the Wayans brothers playing white girls?
White Chicks is the name of the movie.
Yep.
What's up with
And
that?
that was considered an all-time classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
But
time.
How? It
TBS
wasn't even
considers it to be a classic because it's on every fucking day.
I'm not even talking about the old days, like when Italian guys would play Indians in movies. Okay, I'm not talking about that. And I'm not talking about white guys, white British guys squinting their eyes and being Mr. Moto. You know, I'm talking about like modern movies where Eddie Murphy, it's okay for him to put pancake makeup on and be a white guy. But we can't put on blackface if we want to be a black character.
Yeah.
I get why they don't do it, and don't get me wrong. I understand there's a bit of a difference in the way racism has been
There's a
handled.
lot of difference. There's a huge difference.
That's why I said I didn't do the fucking Amos and Andy fucking makeup. I didn't paint my face with black shoe polish.
No, but you stood on
and
your
fucking-
porch and you did everything but yell pity the fool.
Pretty much.
High five to Craig on that one.
You said you were going to a party that night. You didn't get your TV.
No.
Did
got
you get to that party?
Yes.
And how was it?
it was fantastic.
It was awesome.
And tell me
man.
why. What were some of the best fucking Halloween parties, other than like last year's Mike's party, because that was great, but that's the only one I've been at. Pretend you're trying to convince me to go.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I don't get the adults dressing up thing. I just don't. Okay.
Yeah.
So go with me on this.
I mean, to me, it's one night that you don't have to be an adult.
One night.
You know what I mean? You can
Exactly. That's
exactly
it.
relive your childhood, have a little fun, be a little fucking, or like
Be
fuck it,
someone
I'm gonna
other
do
than
this.
yourself.
As opposed to what we do every Friday in here.
Well, that's the plus of having a podcast, dude.
Yeah,
That's a good point. We get to play characters that are completely unlike ourselves.
Yeah, right. I wish that were
We
true.
would never make these jokes. Nope. I know that when we go to like Habitat for Humanity tomorrow morning and start building that house,
yeah.
we would never say such thing.
No, but I mean, when we went, there was never anything that was. I never went and thought any of the costumes were offensive.
No,
like
never.
I never looked at someone who was like, "Oh, why are you wearing that?" Like, "Oh, I'm fucking appalled." You know what I mean? I never even thought that. It was just fun. There's a shit.
I mean, you can, but if you think about it, any party we've been to, you could look at each costume and think why someone could get offended. Though these days, that's what
now
people
everything.
I saw
Like
one
one of the
once that was rough. And it was a guy who took a bunch of dollar store baby dolls and he put coat hangers all over and he called himself Planned Parenthood.
Wow. Yeah.
It was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. I also saw a lot of people walking around as tampons. They just take like pillows and cover them in red.
And is it
Hot
gross?
nuns,
And
Jesus.
Granted, Halloween was originally Frankenstein's and this and that, and then it morphed into that's the other thing. Marketing got into it. Companies got. It was Frankenstein and ghosts wearing a sheet with fucking holes cut out in it and being Dracula. Then it went to, you know what? I can be C-3PO. Mm-hmm. I can be fucking William Shatner, Captain Kirk. And it went on. Those plastic costumes came out.
Oh, those are the worst things, those tarps.
But
Yeah.
that was the beginning of it all, and it just expanded.
Well, it started
And
way
then-
before that.
Well,
but
no, I know, but I'm saying
with
it went from you were
potato
either a
sacks.
cowboy, an Indian, a ghost,
Or an Italian.
Dracula, or Frankenstein,
or an Italian.
or a princess. You know what I mean?
Mike, no costume can make you look classier.
But they talk about now they talk about offensive costumes, and stores pull them off the shelf immediately.
Well, as soon as an article gets more than 100
Yeah.
likes, and we actually saw one this week, and it was costumes you should never wear, and yet the article is loaded with models professionally shot, smiling,
Wearing the costumes.
that
Yeah.
they said not to wear. So clearly, these white women didn't get the memo.
Yeah,
And of course, they took one of the whitest looking white women, and she is.
It's like a bandito, a Mexican bandito.
Well, let me tell you a funny
the
story
shot
about that
glass.
costume. She's walking around with a holster full of tequila and a shot glass. So immediately, the really snowflakey, fucking flighty people are like, "Oh my God, they're just saying Mexicans are a bunch of drunks." Guess what? I went to Mexico, and they do have bars where they walk around with shot glasses like bullets, and they get you drunk, pouring right out of the bottle
Yeah.
that sits in their fucking holster.
Yeah,
you
they
don't
do
want
it-
the stereotype anymore. Stop fucking doing it to tourists.
Hey, I got
Exactly.
I actually freaking dressed like that too.
Yeah, Manny
2
wore
years
that
ago.
costume
That's
2
the
years ago.
costume we had.
What'd you say? 2 days ago?
Except
Yeah,
her tits.
Well,
Except her tits are only one size bigger.
And then
Nobody can see them, but there's a screen over here that's showing costumes. And
I'm pretty sure they can visualize large tits.
so the next one up is the Dreamcatcher, which is a voluptuous woman dressed as an Indian, which is funny because they usually either had smallpox or were very skinny.
But it's considered to be cultural.
It's appropriation.
Yes.
Like you're taking over their because as Halloween on Halloween, this woman dressed up as fucking Pocahontas or whatever the fuck.
That's Strokahontas.
She's pretty hot.
Taking over their culture. She's appropriating their culture.
She's taking over their food at least.
Well, one thing.
Yeah, she hasn't missed a meal.
I mean,
It's because she stole all their farmland.
she's definitely not living off of maize. You know?
She would put out a big corn-filled turd right now. She is not a small woman.
No, but she's pretty hot, man.
What the fuck?
Scroll down.
Cultural appropriation on Halloween costume. They're going through this like crazy with the Black Panther costume.
Everything.
They don't want. There's certain, not all black people. Don't mean, but there are people that are yelling. White kids shouldn't go out dressed as Black Panther this Halloween.
It's fucking
Now
ridiculous.
the biggest movie that came out in the past 2 years, right? And an awesome hero,
Awesome movie.
right? Shouldn't people be happy with the fact that it's a fantastic superhero? It was a great movie, and people want to dress up like that kid, no matter what color. Whether it's an Asian kid, an Indian kid.
What was the
or
whole
fucking-
takeaway from that movie's success? Is that these movies are breaking down this racial divide.
Yes.
So then all of a sudden, a few
Let's put up
loudmouth
this
fucking
wall.
idiots, okay, because
Yeah.
that's what they are. They're not.
Right.
They're not representing the black community. They're just a bunch of loudmouth idiots who got
No,
a
not at
platform, and they're saying, "No, I don't think a white kid should be Black Panther because that meant something. He came from an African nation. He came from this.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were never from Brooklyn, don't be Captain America.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly.
If you're never in the
There you go.
military,
That's
don't
right.
be Captain
That's right.
America.
Yeah.
Okay, if you never got bit by a spider and watch your uncle die, don't
If
be
you-
Spider-Man.
Yeah, if you
know?
weren't from Isengard, don't be Thor.
Well, that's really pushing the envelope now.
No, but like I said,
that's crazy.
if a young black girl loves the Captain America movie and wants to wear the Captain America costume on Halloween, who gives a fuck that she's black or a girl? Who
Oh my
cares?
God, that will
She
fucking-
wants to wear that costume. No, but it wouldn't offend anybody.
No.
You know what I mean?
Only
But,
people that are looking to be offended.
only people that are looking to be offended.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
And
Oh, that's
you
the
know what's
smartest thing
funny?
you said in a long
And
time.
Wow, that's twice
Wait.
I heard that today.
The funny thing is I, as much as we said, black people came out and said that white kids shouldn't be Black Panther, I would probably say 90% of the people that said it were white. You know, that,
I believe that.
Well, I can't believe a white child is going to wear that fucking costume.
Don't they know what that
Don't
means?
they know what that means? I'm going to be offended for the whole black community. When the black community is like, whatever.
We don't fucking need
We
you.
don't give a fuck. It's Halloween.
And it comes
it's a
back-
fucking costume.
and you know
the
what
kid's 10.
Yeah, no shit. And you know what a big thing about it is, and we talk about this all the time, I think social media. I want to be the first one out there to be offended by this and look
To make a
how
point and-
great I am because
Yeah.
I feel for, it's...
The only costume I think that's ever offended me are the 75,000 fat slobs that wear their fucking Tom Brady jerseys to fucking Patriots games every day.
Yes!
Okay,
Right.
You're doing a disgrace to the NFL.
Yeah,
Hey,
Manny.
hey, stop being jealous.
Yeah,
right?
Manny.
In my defense, I have never owned a Tom Brady jersey until Deflategate. Then I bought one. Before that, I never owned one.
Because they never came out with a fucking 4XL app before that.
You bitch.
They had to add 3 A's to his name.
And fuck you, Brad.
No, but I went on. Well, let's move on back to these costumes.
Yeah, well, and then I want to get into the ones that we've seen. I kind of mentioned one already, but why is this offensive? This is what they're calling Hobo Nightmare, and it's a homeless guy zombie.
Yes.
It's basically a clown, though, right?
It's a clown.
He's got balloons, which honestly, just coming back from New York, not a stretch.
yeah.
He's also got a broken foot. He's got a cast
he's
on
wearing
one
a
of
cast
his
on his
feet.
foot.
Well,
Sitting on a
because the
crate.
homeless get better medical
Oh, wait a
care.
minute. Wait a minute, it's just a sock with his toe sticking out.
No,
like
but-
that.
That's a sock with his toe sticking out. Yes.
He's got no
and
shoe
a
on that
sandal
foot.
on the other foot.
But actually, I look at that. I'm like, that's actually kind of a cool costume.
I
It is
like
a cool costume.
I can pull that off.
It's a clown.
Creepy as fuck. But
It's creepy. That's what I
The
mean.
last thing I would think about is like, wow, we're making fun of homeless people now. It's like, no, that's totally
No,
not
we
what-
did it for years
That's
prior.
not even what I see there.
Why, you
You
never
know?
went out with the fucking bindle on your shoulder,
Yeah.
dressed as a fucking hobo when you were a kid?
no.
I
No.
did.
No, me either.
No, I didn't.
Actually, I
did.
never did, but
No,
That's
because it
pretty
just made
sad.
the whole act of begging for food seem a little more real.
oh, this candy's nice, man. But do you have any chicken or pork?
I
chops?
did it. My father gave me a cigar. My father gave me a cigar to carry in my mouth.
A real one?
It was but it was in the plastic from when my sisters were born, and I chewed on it all night, and apparently I was getting a lot of the juice
The
from
nicotine
inside of it,
fucked up.
and I puked like a motherfucker all night long.
Yeah, had nothing to do with the 93 Three Musketeers you pounded.
No,
I
absolutely
think
not.
it was all part of the plan. His father wanted to feed
How
him
about
cigars
this?
so he could eat
Now-
his candy.
You can't even fucking get a gorilla costume.
But they're not doing it for the reasons you think. They're not.
Harambe?
They're
Innocuous.
Why not?
It says it right
Yeah,
there. I was joking.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought,
you're
yeah,
right.
I thought they were going to make this into a lame racist thing.
Yeah.
No, they're saying a dead gorilla, and there was only one dead gorilla that ever happened. By the way, you know that. No other gorillas have ever died.
Yeah.
Just Harambe.
Just Harambe, yeah.
Yeah, I watched King Kong fall off the Empire State Building in 3 different takes of that movie.
Well, you kidding me? Peter
I'm
would
at,
be
I'm
all
at a
over you on
loss.
that
Who
one.
is Harambe? I don't know.
Harambe
He's a
was that
famous
gorilla
I don't know.
that
I
they
don't-
shot.
Because he mauled a child.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. No, I did see that. All
A
right,
child who
okay,
shouldn't have
that's-
been climbing the fence, and his parents
Right.
should have been down there with him.
His parents are the one that should have
Yeah,
got shot.
exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
right.
And the,
Right,
and the
whatever.
gorilla was just doing its gorilla thing.
Right.
Yeah, killing
That's-
children.
You know what I mean? Yeah, killing children. That's what they do.
Eat bananas
fuck
and kill
children.
So
Wait, he didn't fuck the children.
No,
no,
You're
Okay.
confusing it with grizzly bears from the last time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But
easy, Grizzly Adams.
it's like, all right, so they shot the gorilla. It was mauling a kid.
For the record, this costume shows nothing about a dead gorilla. It's a gorilla with a plastic banana pointing to his head.
Yeah.
I guess he's saying that's where I got shot.
That's
And that's why you can't wear that costume.
Or it's
It's
just
offensive to the gorillas.
It's Peter, man. Peter, I'm
It's-
telling you.
it's
They don't
fucking
want no
insane.
Harambe costumes.
It's fucking insane. And when was Harambe? That was like fucking 3 years ago already.
3
People
years, a long
already
time
forgot.
ago.
yeah, the gorillas forgot like that day.
Yeah, it was the same. yeah.
So did the parents.
The one that was in the pen with him for 15 years was like, oh, fuck, he's dead.
The parents forgot about
food
it
for
too.
me.
Yeah, this is normal.
Life goes on.
Yeah.
The kids' parents forgot about it that day too.
All right, guys, you know what? We're talking about all this fun shit. Halloween's supposed to be creepy. This is the
Yeah.
one part of Halloween I like. Okay, I like scary shit.
It's supposed to be evil, dark.
You
Murderous.
Think of the music I listen to.
Yeah.
Think of the T-shirts I wear. Think of the imagery I've got on my fucking iPhone. You know, skulls and demons and,
Yeah.
and all that shit. That's what I do like about this time of year. I like the smell of burning leaves. I kind of like that whole gothic mystery kind of thing.
Definitely.
So let's talk about some of that shit. You know, we're supposed to be
Yes.
into this kind of music and into this whole lifestyle or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I don't want to hear any more about fun costumes where we all dressed up like some other superhero.
Yeah. Or offensive shit. We talk about that stuff all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's talk about some
Music.
creepy shit.
Music. You touched on music there for a second. What is the most? What band represents Halloween more than any out there?
I would say Halloween.
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 Halloween, I mean.
But no.
What band?
Sabbath.
Black Sabbath, I think early on, but the band called Typo Negative
Typo
that I think
Negative.
really kind of captured that whole thing,
Yes.
and that's when I always saw them. They did a Halloween concert in DC when I was in college every year.
Really?
And they'd get on stage plowed. These guys have been drinking since like last Halloween.
They have that morbid sound though.
Yeah.
They're
And
fucking,
they weren't
that's
musically,
true, man.
they weren't like my whole bag, but on Halloween it made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything slow, creepy, something
That methodical, like,
I like
Yeah.
anything that makes you uncomfortable. I like music that makes you uncomfortable. And a lot of
Yeah.
metal does that. And, you know, and I don't want to get into the whole music thing, but I think this is a good point, Mike. Like, to me, that's the sound of Halloween. And that kind of gets me into the spirit to hear some of the stories that we're going to bring up in a minute. But what are your bands? I'm curious.
I don't know, man. I mean, Sabbath is obvious, choice. For the sound, I mean, geez.
Sabbath had a lot of
they were,
hippie shit, too, though.
they were based on that. I mean, Sabbath before they became Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
they were playing '60s music, just like
I
fucking
know.
They were
everybody
playing
else.
the blues.
Yeah, they were playing.
But then we heard,
and they-
what is this?
and that was all due to them being in a hotel across from a movie theater,
Yep.
and all of these, '60s, '70s horror movies are coming out, and there was a big thing, and it was what's his name?
Boris Karloff
Yeah,
in Black Sabbath.
Yep.
and they were like, why don't we try this like that?
Well,
lower
they
Tony
were also
Iommi's
dabbling
idea.
in it.
sounds,
They were
you know?
also dabbling in the occult, and the biggest thing is they were also terrible musicians.
That was Iommi's idea, was to go that way.
And he chopped off his finger. He couldn't play the blues like he was supposed to play.
Yeah.
And honestly, 3 British guys playing the blues didn't really sound that good.
Yeah.
And so musically, they couldn't pull it off. But guess what? When you wear a thimble on your finger because you chopped it off, and you're not very good at your instrument, you start playing notes you didn't mean to, and they found the one that
Yep.
sounded evil.
good, yes.
And it's called the tritone. And that
Yeah,
thing,
the tritone, man.
it's still what they're using today.
Yep.
And not just them, all metal.
Yeah.
It invented a genre by accident.
It's that note. It's that note that gives you the goosebumps.
It's the Crowley.
Like I'm getting right
Well,
now
yeah, and
as
that's
we
where they went, and it made Ozzy the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, and
You
all
know,
and he's so comical. I mean,
Yeah,
he
oh,
always,
yeah,
he always
yeah.
was kind of a joke, you know.
Yeah,
But I mean,
they
it
were
made
more the
Sabbath-
hippies than anything else.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, but it made Sabbath. They came out and it was like, it's like, goddamn, you know. That's what was awesome about it.
There's another band out there that very few people are going to know, but they're called Sleep. And they're made up of members of other bands that I'm not going to get into, but they're kind of famous in the heavy metal community. But they actually release albums that are one long track. And there are some times where they'll play a note and let it ring for almost a minute. And they just have so much reverb and distortion.
changes all
and it
over and over.
absolutely it devastates you because you're just waiting for something to happen, and it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And I
I know
like
what you're
that.
saying.
See, that's great.
And
man.
actually, they have a great story. During one of their concerts, they tuned a step lower than they normally do, and they had to stop the concert. People in the show were shitting themselves.
They found the brown note.
nice.
You weaponized that
infamous
shit.
time
back.
Yeah, it was literally they tuned so low that the bass and the reverb in the club was getting people to lose control of their belts.
That's
And
awesome,
people are
man.
shitting everywhere. It looked
That
like that
is the
fake
best.
video.
Yeah.
that we saw.
That's
We
what I was
talked about.
thinking, man. I was just
It
thinking
wa-
that too.
And so they had to stop the concert. And the band is called Sleep. And
Now that is
if you've got
scary.
an hour and don't want to like skip tracks because you can't.
And you have diapers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Put
little
those
easier
on.
on Spotify to jump to different parts, but back when you got it on a CD,
Yeah,
and
that's
like you look at
scary,
the back,
man.
like what songs are on here, and it's just one.
It comes with one depends.
The CD case. It comes in
I'm
as
surprised the
depends.
government hasn't fucking hired them by now.
Yeah, exactly. That brown note, man. They've been looking
That's
for that
fucked
for
up
years.
shit, though.
Yeah, and
But
this
then there's other bands out there like fucking like Alice Cooper, obviously. The
Yeah.
Hollow-
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
he comes,
well,
yeah, obviously. he
Welcome
comes
to
up
my
with-
nightmare.
was
and-
were you
on
ever
that
scared
shit.
by Alice Cooper
Never.
chopping
Oh,
a doll's head off?
Never,
No,
never.
no,
I seen him
no.
live. It didn't scare me.
But
Not that it would.
But it was that creepy vibe on stage. He was Halloween every stage
show.
performance. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It was corny Halloween.
Yeah, it
Yes,
was, which
yes.
is good.
I mean,
though.
I don't need to see a goat getting chopped up on stage for it to be real.
no,
But if there's a little bit of scary truth behind the lyrics, I just think lyrically, if you're writing about real shit and the music matches that tone,
yes,
like I don't want to hear about demons. and
Yeah,
wizards
'cause-
and
yeah,
shit like
whatever.
that doesn't scare me.
No, it doesn't.
But-
Exactly.
But you talk about real life atrocities.
That's what scares fucking
Yeah,
people.
and
man.
you know this can happen to you, and you got a guitar to match.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it sounds that awesome. It gets your adrenaline going, man, first of all.
And Alice Cooper, like you said, I get it. It was campy Halloween,
Even Kiss back then
Stuff.
was big.
Well,
into
yeah,
Halloween,
but-
obviously because of the makeup, the mask.
but it was just makeup and mask, and how many people dressed up as Kiss for Halloween? You know what I mean? It
did.
happens.
I was Peter
But
Chris.
Gene Simmons.
how many people actually killed
long, yeah.
1 billion people on Halloween
Well, that's it. That's it.
and
I
then
mean,
wrote letters?
well, what did I just say? Song lyrics come from reality. Those are the best ones.
And how many metal songs were based on fucking letters from serial killers?
Right.
All right. And I guarantee you at least most of my music collection is based on letters from like Ed Gein.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dahmer and all guys like
Mr.
that.
Crowley.
Yeah, exactly. So
Alistair.
Craig, because he's a diligent motherfucker, decided to go out and find some letters by unknown serial killers.
Yeah, unknown. So, like, first one is from the Zodiac Killer, who was never captured.
Right.
No one knows. I mean, odds are now
Uncaught.
that he's dead.
Well, we know who
But-
we know of him.
We know
know
of him. We don't know who he was.
Right. Okay. So I
were never
think the
caught.
word unknown was a little.
They were never
And
captured.
this is the best. He wrote this. The San Francisco police could have caught me last night if they had searched the park properly, instead of holding road races with their motorcycles, seeing who could have made the most noise. The car drivers should have just parked their cars and sat there quietly waiting for me to come out of my cover.
Holy shit.
He was right there in the park.
Yeah. And well, think about it. You know, most serial killers, at least the way they've been portrayed in movies, they make them out to be, it's a puzzle, it's a game, and they want to be caught. They want to be recognized. You don't go to all this trouble to not be
To
recognized.
not be recognized.
If you're that crazy and you're already willing to murder people, chances are you're willing to do time for it, but you want to make them work for it.
Yep.
And this guy wanted to be caught.
And he was probably the original code guy.
Yeah.
He wrote several. If you look at a lot, it had a lot of numbers, a lot of weird lines and stuff. And some of it's been figured out, and they think it was one I can't remember his name. They think they had it down that he got arrested for another crime and died in prison.
But it's
years
fucked
later.
up. It's so screwed
You know,
up because
but they don't like arrested for not murder. He was arrested for something else, but at that point he was already old and he died in prison.
these killers, they go out of their way to do all these horrid things and then relive that by taunting the police in
Yes.
what they did.
Well,
so they were
The son
actually
of Sam did it,
prolonging
who we know was David Berkowitz, taunted the police like a bastard.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that's
Part of
the
the
real
game.
game. I think the murder is actually not really the satisfaction.
Right.
It's whether or not they can get away with it and what they're willing to do to fuck with them to show, you know, and maybe they're angry at the police. Maybe they think the police are inept.
I think maybe
Yeah.
it is a satisfaction, but to two different beasts. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll never
One-
be in that
Well, they're
mindset.
smarter than they think they're smarter than
Yeah.
police. And a lot
Well,
of
that's
them.
the second mindset.
That's
the
the thing,
first
too.
mindset is being a fucking animal that would do any
Yeah.
of that shit. And the second mindset is getting away with it and fucking taunting and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what
and
I
the,
think. Anyway.
the other thing is, a lot of them are intelligent.
A lot. I'd say most. If they got away with it, I mean, there was
Well,
a.
it's not getting away with it. It's most of them
Intelligence
are
is a fragile word.
high IQ. You know, most serial killers are high IQ.
Crazy
They-
enough to not know what to do with it.
Yes.
Serial
yes, exactly.
killers.
Oh, you mean they don't like walk it? They don't walk into a friggin' store with their name on their shirt.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
But they probably could
do,
and wouldn't
but
get
they
caught.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Because they know what they're
And-
doing. I mean, there was a pipe bomb guy in New York and all over the country sending pipe bombs to a bunch of Democrats this week, and they caught him within a matter of hours.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
he turned out to be a Florida guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, who was a failed male stripper.
Within days, he was
A
caught.
48-year-old male stripper.
You know, and that just goes to show that you know, and
Yeah, you can take your pants off and still drop the bomb.
yeah. But I mean, then there's probably one of the most infamous of all serial killers is Jack the Ripper, who was never caught, and I mean,
So
mutilated
many-
people.
So many theories.
That's the thing. I always thought because it was British and it was the olden Britain times
Yeah.
that Jack the Ripper just stabbed people politely and moved them.
Yeah,
And then he went twinkling through the alleys.
I gotta get home for tea.
He's like,
no. I gotta get home from gingerly skipping through the moors to go back to his house.
by Jove, I've done another. But no, that's not what it was. He
No.
disemboweled people on the regular.
On the regular, in the street, yeah, while people were around. That was the thing.
Not
Is
even
it
for
was,
$5.
you know,
But in the alley.
$5.
So he would do it for
nuts.
free.
And then he was really taunting the police for the longest time.
Forever.
But one of the, from hell, he titled this letter. This was the return address.
I do like
From
that.
hell.
He followed protocol. The editor in me is loving this.
Yeah. I took some of the proper red stuff in a ginger beer bottle over the last job to write this letter with, but it went thick like glue, and I can't use it. Red ink is fit enough, I hope.
So he started writing with
With
blood.
blood.
With blood, but it didn't
And it
work.
got
Just
thick.
And he
with
actually
red
was
ink.
apologizing because he really.
Sorry.
He's like, sorry, my full effect isn't coming through on this.
That's
Otherwise,
fucked up.
lame
Yes.
letter.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, see, people out there fucking like that is
And then
the
this
really
one was
scary
fucked
part.
up. This was the axe,
the
the
Zodiac killer?
the Axemen of New Orleans.
I don't know about
Now,
this
this guy was going around, and what he was doing for a while, he was. This is in the 1920s, I think. Let me see. 1918 to 1919. He was going around and just fucking axe murdering people in their homes. And usually, most of the attacks happened with the homeowner's own axes. Because you had to chop wood.
well, that's
back
the
then,
trick.
You know what I mean?
That's the trick.
And he was
right?
using their axes.
I mean, if you're gonna go for it, you gotta do it like.
And he
in a
went on,
bold way.
and at the time, he had the people of New Orleans were in an uproar. And he wrote, undoubtedly, you Orleans think of me as the most horrible murderer, which I am.
You're not wrong.
But I could be much worse if I wanted to. If I wished, I could pay a visit to your city every night at will and slay thousands of your best citizens. For I am in close relationship with the angel of death.
And that, my friend, is a killer fucking song.
All right.
I just
Sounds
wanna-
like it sounds like something that Bruce Dickinson would like recite before an Iron
Then
Maiden song
went
started.
on, and it's not written here, but he went on and he actually the date was October 16th, and he said, "I will kill a family tonight." And he said, "I will not murder anyone that is playing jazz." And that night, what happened was
Everyone
all over
died.
New Orleans, all over New Orleans, there was jazz parties everywhere, and no one was killed that night.
I mean, I do a lot for music.
Yeah, that's
I
a lot
would.
of
I do a
bullshit.
lot for Sabbath.
Yeah,
But if I really wanted to kill somebody, Ozzy ain't gonna stop me.
no, but he did, and they did it, and they said there were jazz parties held throughout the city.
Yeah,
Well, let me
that's
ask
cool.
you
That's
this.
cool, like tale.
But he probably knew that.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I almost feel like he was toying with people, waiting to see who was paying attention,
Yeah.
and saying, "Yeah, I
To
could come kill
see.
you."
You can walk
And know
down the
what?
street
That
and
was
listen
probably-
to the jazz
that was-
here and there.
That was
and
probably
shit. Hell yeah, man.
his biggest thrill was probably walking through the streets of New Orleans that night, hearing
Listening
jazz
to-
being played from every
That's what I
house.
And,
just said.
and the wondering,
I did this.
what if? What
Yeah.
if I find that house that went to bed?
Yeah.
What if I found the house that was playing a different kind of music?
Yeah. So that
Oh.
I did this. This
This
is that was his 1 million likes on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Well, nicely tied in, my friend.
great.
But how about this? To the serial killers that got caught. Last words from serial killers that were caught before their executions. And some of these, I have to say, I'm like, oh, I kind of like this guy.
Yeah, but do you know
Because he's funny.
how were they killed? Do you know how they? each
Yes,
one was
I
killed?
have it all.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Carl Panasram was an infamous serial killer, arsonist, and rapist. His punishment was hanged on September 5th in 1930. I wish the entire human race had one neck and I had my hands around it. Now hurry it up, you Hoosier bastard. I could hang a dozen men while you're screwing around.
Thank you.
Sounds like that. Sounds
what
like
year
they
was
were-
that?
It was 1930.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
It's just one of those big mics, you know.
Yeah. All right, and
Hey,
then we have
motherfucker.
Jimmy Glass. Crime: escaped prison and then killed Newton and Ellen Brown. Punishment: electric chair, June 12th, 1987. His last words were, "I'd rather be fishing."
No fucking way. That's
yeah.
fucked up.
I do like that guy because he's like, well, you know, this isn't ideal.
Yeah, it's cool, but
As in how I planned it.
it's so fucking rare.
Then we have, this one was one of my favorites. James French. He was killed in the electric chair in August in 1966. How's this for a headline for tomorrow's paper? French fries.
No way you said that. Dude, that's awesome.
My hand just rose.
That
in
is
the
the
air.
fucking best one yet.
Well, you think that one gets?
fries.
How about this one? George Apple
Oh no.
killed a police officer. Punishment executed by electric chair in 1928. Well, gentlemen, you're about to see a baked apple.
Let's know you still got your sense of humor when you're ready to fucking shit the bed.
Right?
That's fucked up. Well, that's all you got left.
Then, this is recent, 1995. Thomas J. Grasso murdered 2 people. I didn't get my SpaghettiOs. I got spaghetti. I want the press to know this.
You're done. I got SpaghettiOs.
I didn't get my last meal.
I got SpaghettiOs.
Fuck
So
you,
what was his last name?
jackass. That's great.
That was Grasso.
all
Thomas
right.
J. Grasso.
I thought because it was French, it would have been Franco.
Yeah. Boyardee. Ned Kelly, multiple murders, execution 1880 via hanging. Such is life. Then this is, we talked about him earlier, Albert Fish.
Yes. Oh my God.
He's
this
everything
is
named
fucked
after
up.
food.
Right? His crimes were kidnapping, murder, and cannibalism. He was executed in 1920. His last words were, "I don't even know why I'm here." Jamie Bruce Mikowski. If I had to do it again, I would not change a thing. Rape and murder. Lethal injection, 1991.
Would not change a thing. What the
Yes.
fuck?
But
Good
this
Is the coup de grace?
This is the coup de grace. Executed by guillotine in 1931.
So they still had the guillotine?
The
in 31?
last person to be
Yeah,
executed
France.
by guillotine was in 1976.
I had no idea.
France.
Yes. Peter Curtin. After my head is...
It's curtains for you.
His name is Dick Curtains.
Yeah, Dick Curtins. Yeah,
Curtains.
Dick
It's
Curtin.
curtains for you.
Every one of them, these people has a bad name.
And he's from
They
France.
all have bad
Fish,
names.
apple.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe that's the problem.
Fries.
Maybe it
that
is.
could be part
Bad-
of the fucking
wait.
issue.
Bad first name, bad last name.
Could be part of the issue.
I honestly, I think they were all bullied.
But this is the creepiest fucking one that I read the whole time. Because this is an absolute psycho. Now,
It
this
creep-
guy
it
killed a
creeped-
bunch of
It
people.
creeped you out? It creeped you out? Oh,
This
boy.
guy killed a bunch of people and said explicitly that it got him off sexually, and that's why he did it. This was in 1931. He was executed by guillotine. He said, "After my head is chopped off, will I still be able to hear, at least for a moment, the sound of my own blood gushing from the stump of my neck? That would be the pleasure to end all pleasures."
Damn.
Agreed.
Woo! I agree.
Agreed.
That is the. Whew, God damn.
Now,
I
talk
have
about a
that.
fucking psycho.
Holy
Well,
crap.
see,
I would say shit like that too. If I know I'm gonna get killed,
Yeah,
I'm
what
not
el-
going out with a joke.
No,
I'm
it's gotta
going
be
out with
something-
something that makes people uncomfortable. I think I'm gonna say something like, "I'll see you soon."
it's gonna
You
be
know.
something like
Well, what's
people
her name?
will be talking
Arlene?
about in 100 years, like we are right now, and we'll be talking about forever.
All right, guys, we've talked a lot tonight. We've covered a lot of ground. We've covered a lot of weird shit, funny shit, creepy shit, Halloween shit.
A lot of shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with shit.
Suffice it to
sure
say, that kind of sums it all
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, pretty
But this is normally where we'd be doing the housekeeping segment, giving you guys our social media and everything. But you know what? I can't do that this week. We have 1 week from today. We will be at Rhode Island Comic Con. We've been badgering you guys with this for months now, talking about getting ready for this. 1 week from today, we will be there, and we'll be doing a lot of live video, and we'll be doing a lot of recording with fans. We'll be a lot of recording with, hopefully, with some celebrities and some of the people Craig thinks are celebrities. And it's going to be a goddamn good time. So, yeah, this episode will be out in time for Halloween, but I think our big holiday is coming up shortly after.
Oh yeah.
So, boys, do we have anything else to say? Manny, thanks for coming in.
Hola.
Hell yeah.
Leslie, thanks for staying out.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say, but
Needless to say, we said it.